world champions for Jose Benavidez Jr. He says, hey, I spar with my brother David. I can take those punches all day. Do you think I'm worried about Danny Garcia tonight? He says marks the end of the Danny Garcia show. Let's see what kind of show they put on as we go to round number 1. And obviously, Danny Garcia, known for his impeccable timing, although coming off the longest layoff of his career, known for that great balance, the counter-punching. While Benavidez Jr., will he try to maximize his physical advantages in height and reach?
And early on, we're seeing him Benavidez try to get the jab going. And Danny Garcia, Benavidez thinks Danny Garcia is going to stay in the pocket with him, and he is right now.
I think, Daddy, you should start boxing a bit. You know, it's been almost 2 years that he's been out. And, you know, we want to see where his reach is. We want to see how his timing is. So he's going to take him a few rounds for Danny Garcia.
Benavidez looking for his first win since June of 2018, a first-round knockout of Frank Rojas. He has 8 first-round KOs. Minute gone here in the first round. There's no combination upstairs for Benavidez, and Garcia goes to the body with a combination of his own.
That was a good right hand from Benavidez. The 1-2.
There's a nice 3-punch combination from Garcia again, making the investment to the body early.
Garcia has sometimes been a slow starter. He wants a good start here, though not a crazy start.
Watch your heads. Watch your heads.
Benavidez, the tallest opponent that Garcia's faced since Pavel Miranda in 2009. Although you talk to Garcia as he puts together a nice double jab there to the body. He says, hey, it's the skills and not necessarily size that wins championships.
That was a nice overhand right by Garcia. But that's what Benavidez needs to do. He needs to show him that he is the bigger man tonight. Yeah. Show that power. And stop Garcia.
Well, I'm talking about power for Benavidez. He's gone the distance in 7 of his last 8 fights. There's a sharp jab from Benavidez, another one. Right hand and the counter right to the body by Garcia.
Benavidez only threw, he normally throws 50 punches around. He only threw 37 per round in that last fight that he ended up with the questionable draw. He wanted to throw more, but boy, he just threw a nice combination.
Beautiful combination, showing off the hand speed. And again, you don't use the term prodigy a lot, or you shouldn't, and he was. He was a boxing prodigy.
I'm liking what I'm seeing from Benavidez. This is the old Benavidez, the fast, the combination Benavidez.
And always approaches the fight with fearless bravado, as Garcia able to go downstairs with a 2-punch combination to the body.
Danny Garcia's body work's been excellent in round 1.
It's been an excellent opening 3 minutes of this 154-pound contest as we go to Al Bernstein's keys to victory.
Yes, an intriguing beginning to this fight, as we've had interesting all night, and we will look at what these two men need to do. Start better. I thought it was a solid, close first round for him. Counter effectively. Yes, when Benavidez comes in, counter him well, and I think take him deep. He has 8-3 over 12-round fights. Benavidez has only been that route 3 times. Wants to take him, I think, into those deeper rounds. As for Benavidez, doubling the jab's important, and he did that in the first round fairly well. He can't overcommit. He did that in his last fight, and you certainly don't want to do that against a great counterpuncher like Garcia. The right hand after that jab could be a big weapon for Benavidez. We saw it once or twice in round 1.
Both fighters trained by their fathers, as we have documented here tonight. And, you know, Benavidez says, hey, I respect Danny Garcia. It's just his dad. He talks too much.
Does Angel talk a lot? I never noticed that.
It is the Garcia show. Let's leave it at that. The dad, you know.
The Angel Garcia.
Yeah, the Angel Garcia, both of them. But yeah, the Angel Garcia show. Again, this is the second round. Danny Garcia, you know, starting to let go of his punches.
You know, Benavidez averages 17 jabs a round. He threw 33 in that last round, and that's important for him.
It behooves him to continue to do so.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very close round. The body work of Garcia may have earned him that round. We don't know, but it was a good round.
And there's a good combination again by Benavidez that lands upstairs. to Danny Garcia. Of course, Garcia, very an elite counter puncher at 140 and 147. And of course, that counter left hook has made him a lot of money in his career.
Oh boy, has it ever, yeah. It started out against Amir Khan when he won the title using that punch.
As a huge underdog, and then again
tremendous.
as a big underdog, was able to drop Lucas Matisse and still beat him on the co-feature of Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez.
And a key point is the punch resistance of Danny Garcia. His chin and his is astonishing. He has taken big punches from big punchers and never been hurt.
Incredible.
I like the rhythm right now from Garcia. He's got a nice little rhythm that he's got going, making Benavidez miss, and now it's just a matter of counterpunch right after he makes a miss. But again, you know, this is the second round. He's feeling himself again and making sure that the timing is right.
And the second round after, again, as we've mentioned, the longest layoff of his career, trying to get that rhythm going, and Benavidez in front, high peekaboo guard, trying to stalk Garcia. Just over a minute left in the second.
You could feel the wheels turning with Benavidez. He doesn't want to overcommit, so he is making sure he doesn't do that and get it with a big counterpunch.
And, you know, physically speaking, again, when you look at them side by side, I mean, just so much bigger in terms of stature as Benavidez, and yet crouching down, standing right in front of Garcia, the right hand, the counter by Garcia.
Yeah, that was a counter punches that we're talking about from Garcia. Boom, there it is again.
Another right hand counter by Garcia.
So the timing's there for Garcia.
Under 30 seconds now left in the second round. There's that triple jab by Garcia, painting the body of the tattooed Benavidez. And I mentioned at the start of the fight that, yeah, Jose Benavidez spars with one of the most fearsome punchers in the sport. His younger brother, David Benavidez, and he is standing by with our Jim Gray.
Well, that got our heads to turn there. David, what's your assessment of how your brother's doing so far?
I feel like he's doing great. He won the first 2 rounds. He's using the jab, the straight jab good, following it up with the right hand, so I feel like he has to do that all night and then go down to the body later.
You were in camp with him and you sparred with him. What impressed you most?
The left hook to the body. You know, that's our bread and butter, and the jab, too. You know, he's really strong. I know my brother. He has amazing power, so I feel like he's going to get this victory tonight. He's going to get a knockout for sure.
And what did you tell him about winning? Because he hasn't won in 4 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I told him, this is the moment where he wants to be at. You know, what comes next after this is world titles. You know, hopefully we go both be world champions at the same time and, you know, headline the card together. So, you know what I mean? Yeah.
That would be cool. 168-pounder. You're undefeated, 26-0. What's next up for you?
I think we're looking at November. We want to get either Charlo, David Morrell, or Caleb Plant out there. So we'll see what happens.
All right, David. Best of luck. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right. Back over to you, Morrell.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. As we begin round number 3, scheduled for 12. In his last fight, Benavidez was at a career high 158 3/4 and admitted that it just was not his night. And for Danny Garcia, again, first time at this weight class.
Yeah, when Danny gets that jab going, that rhythm going, he's good. Benavidez has to take that rhythm away from him by using his own jab.
Garcia is normally lands 41% of his power punches every other than jab. Tonight, he was landing at 50%. He's been very accurate with his power punches.
And you know, Garcia used to being in with bigger men and has fared well because of those attributes we've already talked about. The timing, the counter punching, but there's that left hook to the body that brother David talked about, and the right hand that lands. So Benavidez with some success with Garcia along the ropes. A minute gone here in round 3, and Benavidez bringing the fight to Danny Garcia.
That was a nice right hand. Little low right there.
Oh, the left hook upstairs lands for Benavidez.
And all from a great distance for Benavidez.
Which is where he wants to be for the most part.
Garcia wanting to enjoy, like blew away the fruits of his labor while they were still ripe, has been very smart with investments and took time off not only to recover physically, but had dealt with anxiety. And while he didn't seek therapy, he learned how to control triggers and now getting busy with the jabs. And he says he's rediscovered his passion. He said that while he feels he's a better fighter now, he wants to resort to being the younger version of himself, taking
staying in the pocket to do that.
That was some good work from Danny. Straight right hand.
Garcia did a really good work downstairs.
Now he wants to pick it up upstairs. He wants to change that right hand as an overhand right for Danny.
Benavidez, he stared a hole through him at the weigh and tried to do the same thing here.
Good beginning of this round to Benavidez. Garcia has come back in it, though, so he's had better moments in the middle part of the round than the latter part.
And you can almost sense that he is setting up that right hand, that overhand right, Garcia.
There's a nice three-punch combination, able to sneak behind the high guard with that left hook. Body shots by Garcia.
And Benavidez giving him the opportunity to give him those shots because he's just closing up.
David Benavidez, younger brothers we just heard from with Jim Gray. He feels that his brother's going to get the knockout tonight.
In the last round, Benavidez landing that right hand, which is an important one for him. And that was early in the round, that sequence in which he got to work. Then Danny Garcia started to really come back in that round. Here's the right hand over the lazy left of Benavidez. And the body work of Garcia tonight has been just really good. And combination punching downstairs as well. So that is impressive. He's landed 29 body shots, Garcia, already.
Keep it down. Keep the composure. Don't listen to him. When you open his hand straight line.
Garcia talked about wanting to use his jab more. Has already thrown 97 and landed 14 compared to 6 of 79 for Benavidez as we begin round number 4 scheduled for 12. Danny Garcia's 154-pound debut and Benavidez' second fight at 154 or higher.
Yeah, every time that Danny Garcia sets up the jab, he gets the rhythm going and he sets his punches really well. Right after the jab, the body shots come, the overhand right, the straight to the body. I mean, it's that jab for Danny.
And there's a jab for Benavidez as we look at show stats after 3 rounds. And in terms of the body shots, it's Garcia out.
Yeah, I mentioned that he had those 29, and the fact is, you know, he's working even in combination downstairs, so it's very impressive.
Now Benavidez, he needs to let go of his hands more. You got to give Garcia something to worry about.
Yeah. And he hasn't made Garcia feel like he can't stay in the pocket with him at this juncture.
The jab again, the jab to the body, and Garcia really starting to work that left stick.
He talked about his last fight. He was overthinking his punches, and I think he's doing it again right now. Speaking of Benavidez.
Well, he felt he was pressing, yeah, and then now it's almost inactivity.
Just past the midway point of the 4th. There's that right hand that lands for Garcia and immediately moves out of the way, much to the delight of the crowd here in Brooklyn. Again, fought only 4 times in his hometown of Philly, but still loyal. Named his first daughter Philly, has another daughter on the way.
And Jose Benavidez with 2 young daughters, a 1-year-old, and he feels he's fighting for them.
Yeah, so. And took a lot of that time off to spend time with them as well, not wanting to miss the first steps, not wanting to miss any of the first. Under minute left here in the 4th, and Garcia loading up with that right.
There's a rarity. There's something you don't see very much. Danny Garcia overcommitting and his opponent countering him. That's different.
And yet Benavidez, also known as a good counterpuncher when he wants to be.
He's shown some nice right hands, Benavidez, in this round.
That right hand landed right in the chin of Garcia. It almost seemed like it hurt him.
Yeah, but
definitely stunned him.
Yeah, for a moment. And boy, you got to do something to hurt Danny Garcia. Keith Thurman had him stunned early in their fight, but he's never been down. He's got a great chin.
Another jab to the body, and plenty of jabs being thrown by Danny Garcia. So definitely using his stick effectively, going downstairs effectively. We are through 4 in Brooklyn.
Okay, let's keep working that combination. That natural combination that comes to you. Watch out, he's trying for that right haymaker, so watch it. Watch for it. And he's also hitting you in the stomach, the body. So make sure you look for that one. And then he wants to pound it with the right too, so watch out for that one.
Well, this is a rare moment in a Danny Garcia fight, but Garcia, he throws the overhand right that misses, and he gets countered, not that, somewhat effectively by Benavidez, and then he ripped in a couple other right hands. One did get there and one didn't. So that is very uncharacteristic, and you won't see that very often.
I don't think he did wrong. He saw something, but Benavidez was quick to pull out.
Yes, exactly.
Round number 5. Now Benavidez goes to the body with a jab after pairing Garcia's jab. Garcia, 3-punch combination, culminates with a jab splitting the guard and then the one downstairs.
The combination punching of Garcia has been effective, really effective in this fight. And when Danny Garcia, who is often a good combination puncher, when he does that, he's a very good fighter.
Yeah, he works the body really well. Again, the jab sets up those punches.
Oh, and Benavidez, right hand, and Garcia. Well, the Danny Garcia show, trying to play some mind games with Benavidez, much to the delight of his fans here in Brooklyn.
And Benavidez talking to Garcia, so they're getting after it in every way.
And Garcia again planting the jab upstairs, downstairs. Double jab to the face and body. There's a right hand to the body by Danny Swift Garcia.
They each have their moments with that jab. Jab upstairs, jumps downstairs, and here comes Benavidez. He'll probably do the same thing.
You know, the difference in this fight is that Benavidez is not throwing as many combinations. There was one, but they all missed.
And there's a nice 1-2 for Garcia that lands.
And Garcia doing the right thing. He's right in front of him, but not at a distance where Benavidez could catch him.
And Garcia's confidence appears to be growing. He becomes a little more fluid, a little more loose, and really using that jab effectively here in the 5th, followed up by the right hand to the breadbasket of Benavidez.
There, that's what you want to do, Benavidez. You let him low. You gotta get in low. You're standing too straight up.
There's a chopping right hand by Benavidez. There's the jab, and Garcia, lateral movement on the ropes, firing back the combination. And Benavidez pushed to the ground, and he pushes Garcia back, and referee Willis says enough of that. Double jab again by Garcia. Jab by Benavidez misses. And again, Garcia with the commitment to the body. The bigger fighter wearing him down.
I like what the referee did a second ago. He read both the body languages from Benavidez. He was a little fired up and he calmed him down.
Coming down this fired up crowd in Barclays. And boy, the hand speed of Garcia on display. But then back comes Benavidez. Passionate crowd here in Brooklyn. Tony Harrison, he's watching with vested interest. I'm sure he wouldn't mind tossing his hat into the ring literally against the winner of this fight, the former champ, Jaron Boots Ennis, Philadelphia, 29-0 with 27 KOs. Unbeaten at welterweight. Stephen Fulton, unbeaten at super bantamweight, unified champion, who trained with Danny Garcia. Your Denny Zugas and Manny Pacquiao into retirement. Former welterweight champ lost to Errol Spence Jr., as did Danny Garcia. And there's the Benavidez Benavidez family, multiple generations on hand here tonight. And, hey, cash rules everything around me. We talked about bringing the ruckus. Raekwon of the legendary Wu-Tang Clan is in the house.
He knew he was going to be referenced earlier, didn't he?
Sixth round, and Danny Garcia beginning to show the hand speed. He's becoming more comfortable as the fight unfolds.
Yeah. Benavidez needs to become a little bit more aggressive now. Not just by pressuring, but by throwing punches.
Yes. You know, Benavidez has to change the dynamic of this fight. It had a same quality to it. And now and you made the point, Abner, it's not just coming forward. You've got to throw your hands. And these numbers demonstrate that. You know, not only is Garcia throwing more, obviously landing more.
And just landed one.
And that's how you become a dangerous fighter. In Benavidez, you gotta throw.
Garcia initiating the attack again with the double jab.
Yeah, we talked about Benavidez needing to use the jab, but Garcia's thrown more jabs and landed more in this fight.
Again, Garcia remains committed to the body with the jab.
Yeah, he's taking control with that
jab. There's a counter right hand to the body by Garcia as Benavidez throws wildly. And really, it's all about Danny Garcia's jab right now, guys.
Yes, it is. He just took a body shot there, but guess what? Garcia came back with the jab again.
Good counter.
Yeah, it was interesting. Benavidez with a counter left. Again, you made the point, Maul. Benavidez is a decent counter puncher himself. It's just that's what Garcia is known for.
That's the second uppercut that Benavidez lands.
Just over a minute remaining in the sixth. Crowd trying to continue to push Danny Garcia to victory in his 154-pound debut. Jose Benavidez Jr.'s own father, senior, said, "My son needs to win tonight, or his career is essentially over."
Yeah, he needs a win or a very, very good performance. Right now, it's not in that category, to be honest.
It started off decently.
Yeah, yes, it did, but Garcia took control of this fight, and he has not been able to change the dynamic.
And he is slowing him down for many reasons, but that body work is part of it. Now Benavidez trying to fire back, but just out of range.
That was a good counter punch from Garcia. Felt a little touch on the right hand, and he came back with his own.
And slipped that left hook behind the high guard of Benavidez. A solid sixth round for former two-division champion Danny Swift Garcia. Let's go to Jim Gray.
I'm here with the former light middleweight champion, Tony Harrison. Tony, you would like to fight perhaps Danny Garcia next. What's your assessment of how he's doing so far?
I mean, I think he's doing good, but it's right now we're seeing two 147-pounders come up to my division and fight each other. Right now, Danny Garcia got his feet in the pool, on the edge of the pool. I need him to come to the deep.
He's ready to get in the deep end?
I mean, hopefully, man. I'm only here to bring him in the deep end and show him what Detroit guys do.
And why do you think that you should be the next opponent?
I mean, he can't. I mean, if we're talking about somebody that generate money to the sport, it's Danny Garcia. But who you gonna jump him in front of? Who we gonna fight? He ain't ready for Charlo yet. Best next thing is it gotta be him.
And what do you look for to happen here as the fight moves on into the later rounds?
I pray to God Danny win. I love Danny. I pray to God he win, and I pray to God we dance next.
All right, Tony, great to see you.
All the time.
All right, Mauro, back to you.
All right, Jim. Tony Harrison looking forward to dancing with Danny Garcia. Of course, Jose Benavidez Jr. would like to ruin those plans.
And you saw Tony Harrison in his last fight.
Yes.
Very impressive win.
Yep. Back in April here on Showtime.
And he showed he has plenty in the tank.
And a former champion. Guy who beat Jermell Charlo.
That was a great overhand by Garcia. And again, Benavidez, standing there nodding his head and saying, hey, you didn't do anything. But he did. He landed a shot. You got to land your own shots, too.
So we've begun the second half of this 12-round, 154-pound fight. So let's find out what our unofficial scorer, Steve Farad, scored it at the midway point.
Well, Mo, in tennis, if you have a 6-love lead, that's called a bagel. And I think Garcia is bageling Benavidez so far. I have all 6 rounds for Garcia, 60-54. Scoring, he's stepping to the left after he lands, and he's not getting countered. I think he's in total control, pretty much doing what he wants, and a very good defensive effort as well.
Now, if you could only find a good bagel in New York City.
Yeah, that's impossible, right? You know, Steve made a great point that Garcia has done a pretty good defensive job as well. He's been hit with some shots, but for the most part, he's done a good job of slipping a lot of what the Benavidez has thrown. And you know, Danny Garcia, when he wants to, can give you great movement. There's the combination.
He can give you those too.
Yeah. We saw him box against Lucas Matisse many years ago and show us a dimension show, but he can.
And I can't say it enough. Benavidez needs to let his hands go. He's overthinking it.
And he says that's as we've talked about. That's what he did in his last fight as well.
He's giving Garcia the effort. He's standing right in front of him. Yes, he might think that a lot of these shots he's blocking, but, you know, the shots that Danny Garcia is letting his hands go. Referee's seen another thing. Judges, I mean.
And Garcia's done a great job of mixing his attack to both the body and the head.
Exactly, diversifying the attack. And Benavidez now throwing punches, but I mean, everything's set up by the jab, the commitment to the body. Garcia's just thrown his 250th jab in the fight.
Yeah, that's
landed
a lot.
39. And there's again Abner going to the body with the jab upstairs with the right hand.
And I told you guys it was going to take him at least 2-3 rounds to get his rhythm, and we see it from Garcia. Doubling with that jab upstairs, downstairs, changing it to the overhand right. He's done it a few times. Like that said, he doesn't want to commit.
And not to take away from Garcia. And again, it's ad nauseum, but man, Benavidez, no movement. There's a triple right hand from Benavidez. Finally showing some life here at the later stages of the 7th, but Garcia continues to put together the combinations.
Listen, just like beautiful champ. So you can hit you when you don't jump out. Hands up, stay in the pocket. Use your hand, a little bit.
Well, we've talked about the combination punching of Garcia. It's been effective. They're lead right hand. You know, we talk about his counter punching. He's capable of initiating the attack, and when he does and throws those kind of combinations, he's going to do things like land that big right hand. And yet another sequence that demonstrates it. Feinting, also going to the body. We talked about him varying his... See, goes to the body with the jab, comes with the right hand to the head.
'41st pro boxing event here at Barclays. And Garcia headlining for the 9th time. Looking for his 7th win here in Brooklyn. And there's a combination 1-2, and then using footwork to escape to kick off round 8. And meanwhile, applauding Benavidez Jr. in front of him.
And one of the things that's, you know, depressing if you look at this for Benavidez also is Garcia has been 12 rounds 11 times. He's 8-3, 3 losses against top quality 147 pounders. And we see, look, as you move ahead, yes, Benavidez has a pretty good record after that, but he's only been 12 rounds 3 times.
And there's Benavidez coming back with a 3-punch combination upstairs, Abner.
Yeah, you know, that's signs of him, you know, coming back, letting his hands go.
He's got a punch. That's just as simple as you can put it.
It's just about getting rhythm as well for Benavidez. There, he landed a great combination. After another combination, you got to step on it. Keep doing the same thing. There
nice exchange. A fight breaking out here in round 8. Meanwhile, Steve Farhood has Danny Garcia pitching a shutout on his unofficial scorecard.
Tony Harrison made the point. You know, these are essentially 247 pounders in there. So we may not know how well Danny Garcia is overall going to do in this division. But what we have seen in this fight is that he after this long layoff, he's still a very sharp fighter.
And Harrison talked about what we talked about at the top of the broadcast, that Garcia does bring in name value, a strong resume, and
that's why Tony Harrison wants to fight.
Exactly.
Yeah, he might not be fighting a solid 154, name 154 fighter, but he is fighting a bigger fighter, period. Benavidez weighed in rehydrated to 172 pounds tonight.
There's that double jab, the body. Consistency from Danny Garcia. 45 seconds left in the 8th. Lead left hook by Benavidez, but pot-shotting and again just walking, trying to cut off the ring, but unable to do so with Danny Garcia.
You know, we've seen Benavidez throw some pretty good left hooks to the body, and that's one of the missing weapons for him in this fight as well. And David Benavidez, his brother, referred to that early on when he was talking about what his brother might do.
Cuffing right hand by Benavidez. But Garcia goes to the body, left hook to the liver, another lead left hook to the body by Garcia. That's what David Benavidez would love to see from his brother Jose. We are through 8 rounds, and yeah, the Danny Garcia show looking pretty good thus far as we go to Steve Farhood with more on this, well, loaded division.
Well, at 154, or a.k.a. super welterweight, Mo, the only champion is Jermell Charlo. He has all 4 major belts as a result of his KO win over Brian Castano in May. Charlo, one of only 3 current undisputed male champions. And for the notable contenders in this division, you saw Tony Harrison. He's calling out Garcia already. And Garcia is a welcome addition to these ranks.
There's a right uppercut, left hand, and Benavidez again delivers a blow to the body.
You know, Benavidez has snuck some right hands in.
And downstairs by Benavidez.
Yeah, really good round for Benavidez.
Yeah, it's his best round for maybe in the fight.
Yeah, he's got to be first. He's got to get stop the initiative. And that's exactly what he's doing in this 9th round.
That was a nice right hand by Benavidez.
And they have now combined to throw over 1,000 punches as Jose Benavidez Jr. with a minute left here in the 9th, enjoying some success. But Danny Garcia continues to use that jab, trying to break the guard.
And here you see Benavidez having a more effective round than he has had in recent rounds, even by the punch stat numbers. But he kind of gave that up, didn't he? He had all kinds of momentum going, and now he's just kind of stopped.
Yeah, that's his problem. He has, like you said, the momentum going. He's got the rhythm going, and then all of a sudden he pauses. He stands right in front of Danny Garcia.
There's a right hand to the body by Benavidez. A right hand by Garcia. Nice right hand to the head by Benavidez as round number 10 straight ahead. Another sharp jab from Benavidez. But Garcia continues to put the work into the body.
You're doing spectacular. That's the way. Just keep the hands up. Good round for you. Start closing in the distance. Fight short, nice and short. This is the 10th round now. 2 more rounds.
Well, I'll say Benavidez probably the best round he's had in the fight. Yes. Here, nice little uppercut on the inside, a combination with the left hook that he hasn't thrown that much of, and there's the jab. These are all, and a right to the body. These are all the things Jose Benavidez was hoping to do coming into this fight. Garcia shows his counterpunching, but Benavidez setting up the right hand with the jab. This sequence is the best work Benavidez has done in this fight. Can he build on it in these final rounds?
Exactly. He needs to build on it in order for his father and his brother's prediction of a knockout victory to come true. And good round to build off of, but you know Danny Garcia is going to try to get right back into it as he fires off a 3-punch combination to begin round 10.
Yeah, you got to jump right into the same thing, Benavidez. He's got to put the pressure, let his hands go.
There's a right hand over the top by Garcia, and then Benavidez going to the body while Garcia clinches.
You know, in the last fight, even in an effort that wasn't great for Benavidez, he landed 64 body punches. Tonight, only 10. So that, you know, that left hook to the body, not been there tonight.
And Steve Farhood agreeing with all of us, giving Benavidez that round in round 9, the first round of the fight that he has scored 4. The once beaten Jose Benavidez Jr. winless in his last 2. And both of them again here, new weight class, both looking for that statement victory. There's a triple jab from Benavidez, but doesn't follow it with the right, and then the double jab of Garcia splits the guard.
Yeah, he did not follow it up with the right hand, and Garcia came back with his own jab.
And Garcia's the one that continues to go to the body with the left hook, as we've seen on many occasions. Again, a nice, crisp combination downstairs for Danny Garcia.
Danny's doing something really smart right now. He's staying at a really good distance right there, stepping back, seeing what Benavidez has to do, which is most of the time stay in front of him. Well, guess what? Garcia goes in with the double, triple jab.
And Benavidez doesn't move off center line now. I mean, he's right there. There are no angles. And not, again, Danny Garcia showcasing his skills, but Benavidez is a target there, especially for the jab to the body, Abner, like we're continuing to see repeatedly.
Yeah. You got to keep him busy. You got to keep Garcia busy with your own jab, with your punches with the right hand that Benavidez has, and he has a really nice, good right hand.
And following his best round of the fight, Benavidez has only thrown 38 punches so far in this round.
Wow. Meanwhile, Garcia closing in on 120 body punches landed as Benavidez jabs to the body, but Garcia that much more effective with his jab to the body than the right hand to the downstairs region.
And we also got to give credit to Garcia because, I mean, we just started talking about Benavidez, you know, throwing more punches, but Garcia's doing a good job of countering, keeping him busy.
And that jab has kept him muted. The hand speed. I mean, there's a reason Danny Garcia came in as a big underdog. An elite fighter, 140, 147, now at 154. Trying to show that he's bringing those skills.
Well, in the last round, Garcia had a great comeback round. He'll use the triple left hand and then the overhand right. So we'll see 3 left hands, the pawing jabs by Garcia, and then that sets up that right hand. So and comes with another one. The double jab we said that Benavidez needed, Garcia's using. Now that counter right hand by Benavidez, a singular moment for him.
Come on, Chad. Yeah. Don't give it to him, Dan. You keep giving it to him. Stay focused, Dan. You heard me? Stay focused, Dan. Focus, please. Focus. You heard me? Don't lose your vision. Keep your fucking vision.
Round number 11 scheduled for 12 at 154 pounds. Danny Garcia outlanding Benavidez at a 2-to-1 clip and clipping him early in round 11 with another multiple punch combination.
That was a great start for Garcia. I mean, this is the Garcia show, Danny Garcia show, as he called it, and he is giving us a great performance. We talked about 2 years out, and I don't see no ring rust, to be honest.
Yeah, technique-wise, a very good performance. And again, you temper it by the question of whether Benavidez, how much he has brought to this fight, but he's certainly trying, and he's had good moments. So it's not as if there's no one in there against him.
But the defense of Danny Garcia on display, avoiding the attack of Benavidez and able to use his footwork to frustrate Jose Benavidez Jr.
And Garcia assuming, and probably rightfully so, that he's way ahead on the scorecard, so feels like he can do that and not worry about it.
And And he continues to deliver shots to the body. Each and every one of them continues to sap the strength and energy from Jose Benavidez Jr.
Yeah, he's doing the right thing, Garcia. He's staying on game plan. He's fighting smart.
Garcia 8-3 in 12 rounders. Only losses, of course, to Thurman. Very close losses to Thurman and Porter, and then the loss to Errol Spence. But he's a very good fighter over the 12-round distance.
Benavidez wanting to engage, and yet, showing he wants to engage, but hasn't exactly done it a lot.
And that's what I mean by Garcia fighting smart. Garcia's not going to give him that opportunity. He's not going to give him, those shots, to stay inside and give Benavidez an opportunity. No, he's going to box.
Of course, levels and class to this sport. Obviously, Danny Garcia in a different class, and yet the rest of the division. So many monsters and so many incredible fighters, and Danny Garcia dipping his toes into the 154-pound pool here tonight.
That's a perfect way to put it, and that's kind of the way Tony Harrison did. Again, dipping his toe in against another man who's new to the division, and this is a way for him to get the ring rust off. And he's technically performing very, very well, and we're going to find out in the future whether he can be super effective with this division. Right now, he's fighting a great fight.
Family affair for both the Garcias and the Benavidez. There's David Benavidez. Garcia family also out in full force.
You can't get this round out. You're winning, Danny. Yeah, stay focused. You hear me? Stay smart. Stay smart. Listen,
Last round. You're doing well. Start going to the body. The jab. Keep using the jab. This is the last round. Go for it. Keep working the body. Okay.
12th and final round. Jose Benavidez Jr. does have a 12th round knockout over Jorge Paez Jr. in 2015, and he likely needs to rekindle some of that magic 7 years later.
Yeah, David, Jose Benavidez needs something magical tonight, and he's got to land something big if he wants to take this victory.
And again, he's in against someone who's never been down and maybe only stunned once in his whole pro career.
And that's why I did say magical.
Yeah, you're right.
It might be magic, but we need to know.
Magical, yeah.
Hey, but anything can happen. It's awesome. It takes one great shot.
You got it.
Well, and Danny Garcia has shown that as an underdog, you can land those great shots against Amir Khan. And for Jose Benavidez Jr., though, guys, as much as we chronicle his career and what he's done, even this, instead of reacting, he's got to throw punches.
Yes, great point, Mo. It's the reaction. What's this reaction nodding in his head and telling him, you're not hurting me, but he is, he's doing damage. But I don't blame it either. His mind might tell him to throw punches, but he's just not being able to react.
And they both continue to flap their cups at each other. Danny Garcia doing a little bit of that playground psychology with the sticking his tongue out at Benavidez before blistering him again with those rapid-fire combinations.
And again, giving Garcia props because he stuck to the plan.
By Garcia, last minute of the fight. They're doing their own commentary.
And that's, you said an important word. This fight, he has been all about throwing really great combinations.
I don't see the urgency from Benavidez.
And when you take a look, Garcia's age 34, longest layoff of his career, 19 months, overcoming mental health issues, rediscovering his passion. There are so many questions coming into this fight for both fighters. And Danny Garcia, much to the delight of his crowd here in Brooklyn, good start at 154 pounds. The Danny Garcia show, well received tonight.